The church, by its very nature, is missionary. Catechism of Catholic Church 868 says, "The Church is Catholic. She proclaims the fullness of the faith. She bears in herself and administers the totality of the means of salvation. She is sent out to all peoples. She speaks to all people. She encompasses all times. She is missionary of very nature." Agentis 2. In the words of John Paul II, Christian hope sustains us to fully commit to the new evangelization and universal mission. It pushes us to pray as Jesus taught us, "Your kingdom come." How much harm human indifference does to those in need, and worse, the indifference of Christians today. We see a lot of indifference. That indifference does harm to the human society. When we go among the people proclaiming the kingdom of God, it needs tremendous trust, faith, and hope in the Lord. At the same time, a call to bear witness. We hear in the gospel, "The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Cure the sick, raise the dead, cleanse lepers, drive out demons." Jesus shares his mission to proclaim the kingdom of heaven with his disciples. The signs of the kingdom's presence consist of the work that Jesus has already been doing. The sick are cured, lepers are cleansed, demons are driven out, and the dead are raised to life. The disciples are asked to continue doing the work that Jesus has begun. This is a moment of transition in Matthew's Gospel. The focus has shifted from the ministry of Jesus to the work of the community that he has inaugurated. Gospel reports that Jesus commissions 12 disciples. Many scholars believe the 12 disciples symbolize the 12 tribes of Israel. It designates, therefore, continuity between Israel and the church. But the mission continues. We have religious orders. Church still continues to care for the sick in the hospice, in the hospitals. By visiting the sick in the hospitals, it continues the work of mercy, keeping the words of the Lord in the church, practicing the mission to cure the sick and to visit the sick. Jesus' teaching on generosity is not simply a command given for our neighbor's sake. It's for our sake, because it introduces us to a way of living and increases our freedom and increases our joy and responsibility. When there is something good in our lives, our natural inclination is to hold on and that good thing to keep it safe. But Jesus is telling us, if we wish to be happy, we should be generous, should give away what we have. We should give away our times and talents. Again, he's commanding us to give to the poor our time, to raise the dead, to cleanse the lepers, to drive out demons. You can again pause for a moment and ask, in my context, in my environment, in my community, how do I continue God's work in my own environment, in my own life? The gift you have received, give as a gift. We all have received gifts in our life. What is the greatest gift you have ever received in your life? All the seasons, festivities, We order gifts, we give gifts to people. The gifts of God are given in abundance to us. There's not one person here today who has not received a gift in your own life. All of us have received something from God without any cost or payment. The gospel today invites us to identify what is the gift we have received and listen to the teachings of Jesus. The gift you have received, give as a gift. That teaching is not an obligation. Jesus is not placing some burden upon us. Jesus is showing us the way to happiness, the way of life. Our gifts are our own talents, our own resources, our own goodness to others. The gift we received are a gift from God. Compassion of Jesus moved the disciples towards mission. Mission to glorify God. Mission to serve the poorest of the poor and the marginalized. St. Ignatius of Loyola says, all for the greater glory of God. The world needs more compassion. Compassion is not something that simply runs out of God. It's something that God is. What the world needs now is more compassion and less judgment. More I understand and less shame on you. Then the healing of humanity will be more common than suffering, says Lisa Person. Do the world need shaming, or do the world need compassion and less judgment? Through the faith, Mary continued to hear and to ponder the word. Thus, in a sense, Mary as mother became the first disciple, the first missionary of her son. She became the first to whom he seemed to say, "Follow me." Mary's faith and example is a model for missionaries throughout the world.